Are you feeling depressed? Because if you are, I got a magic solution for you. It's going to take it all away. Get you feeling good again. Get you feeling happy again. Do you want it? I know I did when I was going through depression. So I'm going to give it to you. How's it going, my friends? Hope you guys are doing amazing. Hope you guys enjoyed those red-colored glasses. Listen, the reason why I can wear those red-colored glasses, those funky glasses, wear this colorful shirt, and be as energetic as I am, is because I'm actually feeling pretty freaking amazing in general. This isn't just for the video. This is who I feel and how I feel and who I am right now. And it's pretty good, but it wasn't always this way. I've gone through depression. I know what that's like. And I've gone through extreme sadness, extreme pain in my life, just like you probably have, which is why you're watching this. And I want to tell you that you're not alone. So many of us think that we're the only ones that are suffering, we're the only ones that are in pain, we're the only ones who feel terrible, who feel bad, who feel sad, who feel depressed, and that's just not the case. So that's the first thing you need to know, is that you're not alone, because I've been there, and almost everyone on the planet has felt down, has felt depressed at one point or another. Now, some people may not show it, some people may not express it, you may not see it on the outside, but a lot of people are going through it. So you knowing that in and of itself is so peace-giving, because I think we all want to feel like we belong. We want to feel understood. We want to feel like we can relate to others. That's how we form connection, which is one of our human needs. And so it's important for you to know you're not alone. Now, I'm going to give you some tips today on how to get out of depression. Depression is a very serious topic, but I don't want to make it that serious. It's serious in the sense that I have empathy for what you're going through. It's serious in the sense of how it can really charge someone's life in a negative way, and it's just a terrible feeling, and it can cause people to do really terrible things and self-sabotage, and you guys know what extremes I'm talking about, right? It can lead to suicide for some people and so on and so forth. So, of course, it's a very serious topic. I don't want to make it serious, though, in the sense of making it a bigger deal than it needs to be, because it doesn't need to be a bigger deal than it is. It's an emotion. Depression is a feeling. It's an emotion. It's something that you're feeling. You are feeling depressed. You are feeling sad. You are feeling low. And the reason why that's happening is because your thoughts, the thoughts that you've been thinking, that have been repetitive, that have become patterns for you, have been making you feel that way. Meaning the thoughts that you're choosing to think, which are primarily negative, right, are causing you to feel depressed, and also in terms of actions and physical actions, movements, and just things you're doing in your life may not be moving you forward, further compounding the depression, making you feel even worse emotionally, right? Because our thoughts and our actions both drive our feelings. And so today I'm going to touch more on the thoughts, but I'm also going to talk on the actions. So the first thing to know is that your thoughts create your feelings. Wait, what? Can you say that again? Yeah. Your thoughts create your feelings. I remember when I learned this, it changed my life. I heard Brooke Castillo once say it on a podcast, and it absolutely changed my life. And she had heard it from someone else, and I know Tony Robbins teaches this as well, and so many amazing other thought leaders. And it made so much sense when I heard it, but there was a part of me that still was kind of iffy and hesitant about it. I thought, wait, so you're telling me if I've been feeling sad or depressed, it's not because of what happened or because of what's happening? You're saying it's because of the way I'm thinking about what's happening? And the answer was yes, right? And the second I found that out, I was like, whoa, that's crazy, because that gives me all the power. It gives me all the control. It gives me the ability to feel how I want to feel. It allows me, regardless of what's going on in the outside world, regardless of my circumstances, to feel the way I want to feel. And I knew then, from that moment, that regardless of how bad life was or how challenging it was in those moments, that depression was a choice. It really was a choice. And I could choose to feel happy, or at least choose to feel better, right? Now, a lot of us, if we're in a state of depression, may not be able to go from 0 to 100, right? I'm not asking you to jump from being depressed to jumping up a joint, bouncing up and down, right? That may not be possible for you, but you can feel better. One step better, then one step better, one step better, by changing the way you think. So that is the first thing for you to know, is that your thoughts create your feelings, not your circumstances. I'm going to say that again. Your thoughts create your feelings, not your circumstances. So there could be something horrendous going on, circumstantially horrendous, right, which is an opinion we're putting on it. Circumstance that's unwanted, that you believe is stressing you out, that you believe is causing you pain or depression, right? Usually, it's because of something that happened in the past, And so you're thinking about it and you feel like your life isn't going to get better. It's going to be worse, but you won't be able to get over the past. And that's usually what makes people feel pretty sad and depressed, right? Something that has to do with that. Or it could be just, a loss of hope for the future, which again has to do with usually some event going on in the past or currently in the present. Now, once you can decide, wait a minute, I can choose my thoughts, which means even though this circumstance is still here or this thing still happened, I can think differently about it. What if I gave it a different meaning? What if I gave it a different story? What if I changed my thought about that thing? How would it change the way I feel? Just test it. Try it out right now. Think of something that made you feel depressed. Like that's making you feel depressed right now or has made you feel depressed in the past. Just think of that one thing, okay? Now, probably feel pretty sad, pretty crummy thinking about it, right? Probably makes you feel kind of depressed and down. Now, what if I told you, let's keep the circumstance the same thing, right? Now let's change your thought about it, right? So just do it in your mind. Instead, just think of like something that's slightly more positive. What's like one spin you can put on it? One spin, right? So for example, let's say that I went through a breakup. And let's say that my thought about that breakup was, I can't believe that happened. It shouldn't have happened. And I feel really bad about that. Like those are some thoughts I have, right, about the breakup. Now, what if instead, now obviously when I have those thoughts, I'm going to feel pretty terrible. What if instead, though, I change my thoughts to, that was always supposed to happen. That relationship happened for me. We were in each other's lives for a season, for a reason. And the breakup is helping me become the man I need to be so I can meet the next person who's meant for me, right? That thought, just even saying it to you guys in this practice makes me feel so much better, right? My chest is opening up. I'm empowered. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling excited. The breakup hasn't changed. The circumstance hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed is my thought about the circumstance. That's the only thing that's changed that feeling, right? And so you have the power to change how you feel. So if you are depressed right now, I promise you, you can start to change the way you feel. Now, some of you may say, yeah, you don't understand. I'm depressed because I'm in this huge hole. I'm in this financial debt, and it's just been stressing me out, and I feel like I'm never going to get ahead, and there's no solutions. You don't know my situation, or I have some health condition. There's no solution. There's no cure for it. Listen, I understand. I feel you. I hear you. Right? I hear you. I feel you, right? I've worked with clients in similar situations, and I've also gone through a lot of similar things. But what I'll tell you, and this is when it's really challenging, is if you can focus and try to change one thought about the circumstance. Try to think one thought that could slightly make you feel better. For example, maybe it's not going to be so bad. Maybe I'll get through this. Maybe a solution will appear. Maybe a cure will appear. Maybe by thinking a little positively, some door will open up for me. Maybe by praying about it, some option will open up for me. Right? Just the thought, just using the word maybe, which is such a good bridge word, right? It's a really great bridge word to have if you can't fully believe in a thought, if you can't go to everything's going to be amazing, and if you can't believe that, you can just use a bridge word like maybe. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe it won't be this bad, right? Thinking that thought alone, just you thinking it, saying it out loud, instantly makes you feel better. Isn't that crazy? Amazing, right? Because that's all it is. And when you can start to think over and over and over again in those better ways, in those more positive ways, you will start to feel better and better and better and better and better. And that's literally how you get out of depression. One of the main reasons, like I said, people go into depression is because of some sort of despair about the future. They feel like a hopelessness. They feel that things won't get better. They're sad about something currently, and they feel like their future will be the same or will not improve because of a current situation or something that happened in the past. Usually it's the past. Usually it's some past circumstance that happened that's led them to this present moment, and they're focusing on the past, which is what is making them feel sad and depressed now. Because they don't think life in that department will get better, they don't see a foreseeable solution, it makes them feel depressed. Which makes sense, right? If you thought your life wouldn't get better, if you thought it's going to be the same, obviously no one's going to feel happy about that. You would naturally feel more depressed, right? Depression, it's going downward, right? You're depressing something, right? You would feel more low, you would feel more down. Makes sense. So the solution for that is to simply change your thoughts. And like I said, you do it one day at a time, right? And bridge words, bridge thoughts are amazing. Maybe one day I'll feel better. Maybe one day this will change. Maybe something will happen. Maybe I'll, figure out, understand why this happened. Maybe one day this will all make sense. Maybe my life's going to be so much better. Maybe this happened for me, not to me. Maybe this happened for me so I could become the person I was meant to be in the world, so I can create an amazing life. Maybe that's possible for me, right? So maybe it's a really, really great word to use. I used that a lot when I was going through my bouts of depression and sadness. The other half of this equation are your actions, right? So emotion is energy in motion. If you want to change your emotion, you want to be in motion. You want to take some action, right? Now, that's physical action. It could be something as simple as just getting up, stretching, going for a walk. I'm not saying you have to go run a marathon and go start lifting weights. If you're super depressed, you probably won't want to do that. Some of you may be already exercising, right? It also means doing different actions in terms of things to move you forward in your life, which will be very uncomfortable and very challenging. I remember when I was going through the worst of my depression, and this happened to me in various moments of my life, various times in my life, and it's also happened in times of my life where I've been really happy with one area and really depressed with another area. So you can actually have multiple things going on at the same time, right? And so what I know is when I was feeling very depressed, I was doing the bare minimum what needed to be done, like showing up to work or showing up for the business, whatever needed to be done. And then when I could basically turn off, I didn't have to be on for others or to meet the bare minimum survival needs, I could go back into feeling depressed and sad. And it was the hardest thing in the world to get myself to take actions, like getting up and going for a walk. Because it was so much easier to just lay and sleep and not get up, right? It was so much easier to just binge watch something, which isn't a bad thing, right? Sometimes watching things will actually make you feel better. That could be a great solution. But binge watching things instead of doing things that you really truly want to do, right? You just want to have energy for it. I love dressing up. I love grooming. I love taking care of myself. And that was so challenging. When I was in the worst of depression, it was very challenging for me to get up and take a shower and shave and get dressed and just look good for myself. And so I knew how challenging it was, but I made decisions in those moments to do them anyway, because I knew that taking those actions consistently, as much as I could, as hard as that was, as much as I didn't want to do it, would one day get me out of the depression. Because remember, actions also change your feelings, right? They can also make you feel better. And so if you want to start getting out of depression, I highly encourage, one of the things that I want you to start doing, even if you've never done this before or you used to and you stopped, is literally just getting up, taking a shower, getting dressed, right? Do your hair, beard, whatever. If you're a woman, do your makeup, whatever you need to do, right? To feel good. Maybe go out and get a new shirt, new outfit, something, right? I'm not saying you have to spend a lot of money, right? When I didn't have money, I could go to Walmart and find a nice looking $5, $10 shirt, and it still made me feel better, right? And so, now I wear a lot more fancy clothes because I can afford it and I have fun with it and I love fashion, but you don't have to have a lot of money to do any of these things, right? You can do them on any budget. And so that's really, really important in terms of taking action. It is going to be the most challenging thing in the world, but if you can remember what I'm saying and just do it for yourself, do it for your future self, I promise you it's going to be one of the most important things to get you out of depression, because not only is it the physical action of getting ready for yourself, right, and looking your best, but when you see yourself in the mirror, when others see you, you will just feel better about yourself. I truly believe when you look your best, you feel your best, right? Looking your best is a subjective thing, right? It's different for everyone. It's how you feel about yourself. If you know, this is the best I can look right now with the resources I have, right? It's going to make you feel a million times better. I promise you, right? It's one of the things that gets you out of depression. Another thing is taking action towards goals or something that would improve your life a little bit, right? I want to go to the word excitement, something that would get you excited. But when you're in depression, there aren't many things that excite you, right? And so if someone tells you, hey, get excited, you probably want to punch them in the face because you feel like they don't understand what you're going through. So think about, okay, what are some things that I know would be good for me? I believe probably would make my life better or make me happier. Even though I don't want to think about that right now, it's too much. What are some things you could think of? And then just take small actions. Even if it's one action that week, one small action that day, right? Researching the new job, right? Maybe watching 10 minutes of that course for the new business you want to start, right? Maybe getting on that dating app, just creating a profile. Maybe just signing in. Maybe swiping right on one person so that you may, match with them and be able to have a conversation again, right? Maybe it's going for that 10-minute walk if you can't get yourself to go to the gym. Maybe it's finally going to that gym with the membership you have and saying, you know what, I'm just going to go in there. I'm just going to do one workout. That's it. And then I'm going to leave. I don't have to do more, right? I'm just going to do that one small thing. I'm telling you, taking one small action every single day, every single week, doesn't matter how small it is going to absolutely help you get out of depression. It is so crucial, right? And so that energy that you create by taking that action will move you forward. And what's going to happen is that momentum will build. As you start taking action on things in your life, you're going to start to believe, because you're taking action, that things will improve, that things will get better, that things will change. And so now that momentum will continue to build. You'll want to take more action, and the more action will make you believe things are going to get better, and then you'll want to take more action, and then it goes so on and so forth, right? That momentum just continues to build and build and build. So now we have the thoughts you're working on. You're improving your thoughts by thinking, maybe this can get better. Maybe one day this can happen, right? You're starting to envision and believe and think that things could get better, right? And then you're taking action in terms of taking care of yourself, right? Getting up and getting dressed, start your day, even if you work from home, even if you're off, whatever it is, right? Just doing it for yourself, right? And then taking one small action towards some area of your life that would improve it, even though it's the last thing you want to do. Just forcing yourself to do it because you believe, because you know, based on what I'm telling you right now, that is the thing that will get you out of depression one day. And one day you won't be feeling this down. One day you won't be feeling this depressed. I promise you, if you do those two things, right? Just think something differently every day and just do something. Just one more thing every single day. I promise you, it's going to get you out of your depression. I actually started doing this, and as I started to change my thoughts, and as I started to do little things, and there were days where I missed, there were days I wasn't perfect, there were days where I would still self-sabotage, there were days in between where I would take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right? There were days where I would take action, then not take action for another week, and then I would remember, oh, I need to take action again, take action. But I'm telling you, as I consistently chose to think something better and to take some small action, as I consistently did that day in and day out to the best of my ability, one day I woke up and I wasn't feeling depressed anymore. Like, I literally remember just feeling like, wow, like, I feel good. Like, this is crazy. I'm laughing. I feel like life's pretty good. I'm excited about life again. This is great. And it wasn't just one of those things where, I'm only happy when it comes to this area of my life and I'm still depressed to this. Overall, I just felt this sense of gratitude for myself, for life, for the creator, for source, for the universe, for everyone around me. It was this moment, right? And I thought, this is such an amazing feeling. And I felt that way before. I felt really amazing highs before in my life. But I'll never forget when I was out of those bouts of depression, which has happened various times of my life, I felt it, right? What's amazing, though, is that because you're doing the daily work, the thought work and the action work, when you actually get out of depression, it might be really subtle, right? You'll kind of notice it like I do. Like, it may not be this thunderbolt lightning, like, oh my God, I'm out of depression, yay, right? But there will be a moment that comes in, you're like, wait, I'm not depressed anymore, right? And it's the best feeling in the world. One, because I think, of course, it feels better. That's the biggest gift, right? But 2, because you realize that you did that. You realize that you got yourself out of your own depression. You will have so much self-love. You will have so much self-respect. You will have developed a better relationship with yourself. You'll have your own back, right? And self-love is such a beautiful thing. And loving yourself, I think, is loving you. It's loving your higher being. It's loving your connection with source, God, universe, whatever you believe in, the higher power, right? It's one of the most beautiful emotions in the world. And when you've done the work, when you put in the effort to create a different feeling inside of your body, to create something that's an improvement from depression, to get out of depression and to feel better, you will feel like you can do anything. You will know that you can handle anything in this world because you've gone through the depths of darkness. You hit rock bottom. And you'll know if you can get yourself out of that and get to a better place, you can do anything. You're freaking invincible then, right? I mean, what an amazing gift to give yourself. And I feel like I've done this so many times that now I'm not worried about feeling negative emotion. I'm not worried about feeling sad. Will negative emotions still come up? Of course it will, right? We're human. It's going to come up for every single person on the planet. There's not a single planet who's just always going to be happy. I don't think that's the point of life either, right? I think majority of the time, I do believe some people can live in a state of joy and happiness for most of the time. I think there's a small percentage of the world that does that. Hopefully it's going to be me and you, right? And then hopefully we can help others do that too, but you got to start with yourself, and also know that problems are okay and negative emotions are okay, and it's a part of life and it's a part of being human, right? Sometimes, without feeling the negative, you can't appreciate the positive, right? And forget appreciation, sometimes without feeling negative, you can't feel the positive, right? It's almost like if you've never felt what hate feels like, you don't know what love feels like, right? And so, see it as one of those things that will be a fun game, a fun challenge for you to go through, because on the other side of that, it'll help you become the person that you were always meant to become. That's how I used my depression. I used my sadness, I used my dark moments in life, as painful as they were, and sometimes, I went through some really, really horrible lows I thought I wouldn't get out of. There were times where, sometimes we all have those thoughts, like, why am I here? And I don't want to be alive anymore. And, we go down that dark rabbit hole, right? And it's a sad, painful, scary thing. However, if you can get yourself to believe that, you know what, there must be a reason why I'm here. There must be a reason why I was born. There must be a reason why I'm on this planet. I may have multiple purposes. I may have forgotten them along the way. Maybe I've been beat down. Maybe I self-sabotaged. Maybe there were other people or other things at play that I didn't see coming. But I know that I'm here for a greater reason. I know I'm here for greater purposes, multiple purposes, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't have been created. I wouldn't have come here, right? I wouldn't be here on this planet. I wouldn't come into this world the way I did. And so knowing that and holding on to that as an anchor, that's a great anchor belief, by the way, to have. And then from that place, choosing to think better thoughts and taking small actions, tiny, will take you out of depression once and for all. And the best news, my friends, is that I know now that no matter what happens in life, I'm never going to be depressed. Like, I know that. I can have bad days, but I know I'll never go back down to those low places, those depths of darkness, right? Because I've developed the skill, I've developed the muscle, the emotional muscle, the mental muscle, to not allow myself to go all the way down there again, right? I've trained my brain, I've trained my body through physical action on what to do to ensure that we're always excited about the future, right? That we always have something to look forward to, that we want to experience life to the fullest, that we want to enjoy this life that we have, that we want to be, do, have anything that we want, because we really can be, do, or have anything that we want, right? Once you understand that, life gets pretty fun, right? And so that, my friend, is your recipe to help you get out of depression. If you're feeling depressed, first of all, I love you so much. My heart goes out to you. I want to give you a big hug. And secondly, know, like I said in the very beginning, you're not alone. And thirdly, change one thought at a time to feel slightly better, and take one small action whenever you can to feel slightly better. And I promise, if you do that, you will, before you know it, one day, not be depressed anymore. I hope that was helpful, my friends. If it was, go ahead and comment below. Let me know. Love to hear from you. And otherwise, I will see you in the next video right here on this channel or wherever you're listening to this, sending you guys lots of love. And again, I just want to end this by saying there's so many things I can say about depression, and I can go on and on about it forever. But one of the things I do want to tell you also, because it's just popped up in my mind, is we live in a world where people feel alone and feel very lonely. Sometimes, even if they're in relationships, romantic relationships, even if they're not, they feel like they have no one to really talk to and share their feelings with, which is why I think therapy and coaching have become so common. So they're great solutions. But I highly encourage you to find someone you can talk to. Find someone you can spend time with. Find someone you can laugh with. It doesn't have to be the current person you're with. It doesn't have to be your current family members or your loved ones. It could be someone new, right? There's apps out there where you can literally add people as friends. Just Bumble BFF, right? Best Friends Forever, where you can literally just download that. It might be in your country. You can literally just find friends to hang out with for, companionship, right? Or, go on some online chat rooms, or, be bold and courageous, even if you're an introvert. And, next time you're out somewhere, ask someone a question, start a conversation, ask them if you could grab coffee with them sometime, exchange a phone number, right? I emphasize this because I think human connection is really lacking right now in the world. And I do think that it really compounds depression. I really do think that makes things so much worse, right? And I think there's a lack of people available around us sometimes who are going to give us the time to connect with them, to experience life with them, even if it's just sitting somewhere and doing nothing. I think having someone there is really, really amazing. I think that human connection is very important, right? It gives you serotonin and, even when it comes to physical contact, right? If you're sexual with someone or you're cuddling someone, the oxytocin release, it's so important. Like all these hormones and a lack of them lead to depression, right? So I think it's very important to make sure you're doing whatever you can to increase that human connection, right? And figuring out ways to do that, even if it's, like I said, just one small step at a time. It may not change overnight, but one small step at a time will make a huge difference. And some of you may be in relationships, maybe in romantic relationships or marriages, or have, live with big families and still feel lonely and alone. And if that's the case, it's the same thing applies. You need to find people that you can connect with, even if it's just one person that can be life-changing. I do want to say, when I was going through depression, I always found one person, right? Sometimes it was a family member, sometimes it was an old friend, but sometimes it was new people. Sometimes I couldn't go to family members, even though they were like super close to me, they loved and respected me. Sometimes I didn't feel comfortable going to them with what I was going through. And sometimes some of the older friends I had weren't available. They had their own lives. They were busy. They moved out of town, right? People lose touch. And so I literally went out of my way to find people, or because I was desperately wanting it so bad and prayed for it, someone would come into my life, right? I would meet someone online, or we'd become friends, and we'd start chatting, and we'd have similar life circumstances. And so I think it's important to have at least one person. And you may have to go through a lot of people before you find that one person, but it's important to at least find one person, one friend, even if it's temporarily, that you can connect with, that you can spend time with in person or on the phone or video calls with, something, right? Whether it's to express and vent what you're going through, or like I said, just to have some laughs with, just to connect with, just to talk about life with, all right? I really wanted to emphasize that before I finished this episode, because I just remembered how important that is and how that may be a big cause for depression for a lot of you. So I know it was for me at the time when I was dealing with it. And I think having that one person really helped. And since then, I've been growing my group. I've been growing my community. I've been growing people that aren't just friends, right? Not just like friends from school or colleagues, right? That's great to have. I have thousands of those. But true people in this stage of my life who I know have my back and I have their back, and I can call them for anything, and we can spend time in person, or we can call each other up. That's important. The quantity there doesn't matter. It's the quality that matters, right? Even if it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, however many people it is, it's the quality of that matters. So make sure you do whatever you can to find some human connection, to increase that in your life, because I promise you, it's the other thing that will really help you get you out of your depression. All right? Love you so much. Remember, you're never alone. I'm always here with you guys, always, always. Never forget that. And I'll see you guys in the next video or episode. Lots of love.